Hello, Disney fans! Thanks for joining me as I continue to share my thoughts on the second season of Once Upon a Time. Last time I brought us up to where Snow White, also known as Mary Margaret, and Emma are trying to get back from the Enchanted Forest to our world, and they're going to do that by using the magic ashes of the wardrobe that sent Emma through to our world as a baby, and a magic compass to make sure the ashes take them to the right place. Their only problem is they have to make sure that Cora, Regina's mother, does not come back through with them. Now, Rumpel knows how to stop this, and they're going to communicate back and forth between the two worlds through Henry. Since Henry's been under a sleeping curse, when he falls asleep, he enters the netherworld between dreams and being awake, between death and life. It's a pretty scary place, but thanks to Rumpel, he has a medallion that will let him walk through there safely. Relatively so. Henry tries to tell them that Squid Ink will be able to stop Cora. But in talking to Aurora, who's also been under a sleeping curse and therefore can meet him there, he gets burnt when she's pulled back, forced to wake up. Since he's been burnt, Charming and Regina say, we're not doing this again with Henry. We can't let him risk himself like that again. So they plan to put Charming under the sleeping curse.
When I awake, I'll be in that fiery room?
Not exactly. That room is where those who have already awoken from the curse return. You, however, have been put under for the first time.
Then how will I know where to go? How the hell am I supposed to find a room with no door?
And that, dearie, is the conundrum we're all depending on you solving. Now, I say this with the utmost sincerity. Good luck.
With Charming under the sleeping curse, it should be easy enough to get him to wake up again. It's a curse, true love's kiss will solve it. Well, the problem is, he cannot touch Snow physically in that world.
I don't understand. I have. Henry should be here.
Let him come back. This is too dangerous.
You found me.
You found me. I knew you'd be here.
I don't know how much time we have.
Go. He says there's a way to stop Cora. We have to stun her like we did with him.
The quill.
It wasn't the quill, it was the ink. There's a jar of it in his cell where we kept it. Get it. Get it, stop her, and come home.
Charming, how are you here? There's no way for you to be here unless...
I had to see you.
You're in a sleeping curse.
It was worth it.
Now you're cursed.
A curse you're gonna break the true love's kiss.
No.
Besides not being able to wake David up, they have another problem. Aurora has been captured by Cora, and Cora has sent them a message that unless they give her the magic compass, she's going to kill Aurora. Now, they plan to subdue Cora with the Squid Ink, and they think, okay, we can beat her, we don't have to give up the compass. But Mulan goes and runs off to give her the compass. In the meantime, Hook has set Aurora free, but not before taking her heart so they can control her. So she's going to be a danger to them once they do get her back.
It was Hook. He let me go.
Why?
Because of you. He said he wanted to prove to you that you should have trusted him. That if you had trusted him, you could have defeated Cora together. That the two of you could have gotten the remains of the wardrobe. Without him, you'll have to go up against her all by yourself. He only wants to help. I think he may care for you.
Nice touch, that.
Meanwhile, back in Storybrooke, Rumple and Regina realize David's been asleep a long time and Emma and Snow should have been back by now. They figure something's gone wrong, and they also know if the reason they haven't made it back yet is because of Cora, Cora's probably going to be coming through to their world. That's not going to end well, and they realize she's too dangerous to allow to come through. And Regina even hesitates to do this, but there is no other option than to completely destroy the portal that would bring them back. They figure that if they're going to make it back, if anybody's coming through, it will be through a special well that returns what was lost to you. They decide to enchant that where nothing is going to come through there alive. It's clear they hate to do it, but the way they see it, everything's going to be destroyed if Cora makes it through. Back in the Enchanted Forest, of course, they don't know that. They end up trapped in Rumpelstiltskin's old cell after they find Aurora, and Hook and Cora show up and take the compass. So now they're trapped there with seemingly no way out.
Going to win this fight, you know. Good always defeats evil. You sound like Henry. Guess optimism runs in the family. I think it skipped a generation. You should know better than anybody. You broke the curse. What have I done since then? I got us stranded over here, burned down the wardrobe, let Cora get the ash, and now the compass. The only reason I ever broke the curse is because it was exactly what Gold wanted me to do. I had nothing to do with it. What are you talking about? He told you I was the savior. It was his plan. Once I fulfilled that role, maybe that's all I was ever meant to do. Everything I've ever done. He had it all mapped out before I was even born.
Now Emma knows that it was known she would be the savior even before she was born. And she's not liking that idea. She feels like Rumple arranged everything. Rumple didn't set the future. Remember, he can see the future. He knows what to do as a result of his visions. But Emma's not seeing it that way at the moment. However, that scroll with her name written repeatedly does give them the squid ink that they need.
When I was a little girl, I used to sneak into Cora's chamber and watch her practice magic. She had a spell book, and Emma, the spells were in the book.
Yeah, isn't that what a spell book is? A book that has spells in it?
Watch.
Squid ink. Gold wrote the scroll in squid ink.
They're free, but they can't take Aurora with them just yet. As long as Hook and Cora have her heart, they could order her to do absolutely anything and she couldn't resist. So they leave her there, with Mulan promising to return her heart to her, and they head off to Lake Nostos after Cora and Hook. Lake Nostos is a place with magic waters, or at least it used to have magic waters, that will restore anything that has been lost.
The legend says its waters hold the power to restore what was once lost. It'll return magic to what remains of this wardrobe. And then, we'll be able to cross worlds.
I may be a simple pirate, but I know one thing. Lakes have water.
After everything we've been through, why do you still doubt me?
This seems to confirm a theory that I've had while creating a bit of a plot hole. One of the things that detracts from Once Upon a Time is there are a lot of plot holes and a lot of things in the timeline that don't add up. This is a series filled with retcons and rewrites, and sometimes they don't add up. You would think that the well in Storybrooke is the remains of Lake Nostros. It has the power to bring back that which was lost. So does the lake. And we know that the lake is now dry, so you would think that the waters from there went to the well. And yet in another flashback, we've seen that the lake is already dry. So I'm not quite sure if my theory holds up or not. But it's something interesting to think about, just a neat little detail, and if you want to give your opinions on that, I'd like to hear them, so feel free to comment. Emma and Snow show up along with Mulan, and they're going to have to fight them to get the compass back. And the fight between Emma and Hook is full of innuendos.
Normally, I'd prefer to do other more enjoyable activities with a woman on her back. With my life on the line, you've left me no choice. Bit of advice, when I jab you with my sword, you'll feel it.
I don't think this guy ever has anything else on his brain. He does at least give Mulan Aurora's heart back. Mulan gives Snow the sword that she needs to fight against Korra because it can deflect magic. Korra goes for Emma's heart, and here's where things take a bit of an interesting turn.
Goodbye, Snow. Oh, you foolish girl. Don't you know? Love is weakness. No. Strength.
I don't think anyone was actually surprised that Emma can do magic, except for Emma. She should have really expected it, I think. I mean, she knows she was destined to break the curse. You would think having magic goes with the territory, right? Well, the surprise to see is she's at least able to use her magic to deflect Korra. She and Snow are able to go through the portal and get safely to Storybrooke, even though Wemple and Regina put guards in place to keep Korra out. They realize that it's lemon time, they come through, and everybody's happy. Except, of course, for Korra and Hook.
We failed.
Really, Korra? After all this time, why do you still doubt me?
That means petrified. It's useless.
But these waters have regenerative properties. Perhaps it's time to do some gardening.
This is something that I find to be kind of a major flaw in the show. The heroes always seem to think that the day's already saved when they know the villain isn't really defeated, or at least they should know. They know Korra's still alive, they know she's determined, powerful, has magic. Wemple and Regina were ready to basically deep fry anything coming through that well just because they knew how dangerous Korra is. And now, because Emma and Snow are back, they think, oh, okay, that's job done. They should, to me, that's lazy writing. They should know better. I get that you can't have the villains defeated too easily, because once they're defeated, that's pretty much end of story. Yes, there's a lot of spiritual and mental journeying yet for a lot of the characters to do, but you pretty much need a villain in a fairy tale setting. At least most of the time. So I get that, but it's a nitpick of mine that they have the heroes not be vigilant enough. They should have guards around that well. They should have magical ward stops, something, anything. But they figure the day's one, let's have a party. And yeah, Snow and Charming are ready to have their own little party.
What? Taco shells are on sale.
Apparently, tacos not a big item in the enchanted.
What are you guys still doing in bed? It's the middle of the afternoon.
The trip back was tiring and I needed to rest.
And I needed to help her rest.
Fun dose of trauma for Emma. And the lucky thing, Henry didn't realize what was going on. Some fun trivia, Josh Dallas, who plays Prince Charming, and Jennifer Goodwin, who plays Snow White, actually are married in real life. That's one of the things that makes their on-set romance so believable, is that they really are in love. They met on set and their love took off from there. Now the real party's going to start later that evening, and Emma invites Regina, who is not exactly a welcome guest any more so than she was at Snow and Charming's wedding.
Margaret and Emma.
Sorry I'm late.
What is she doing here?
I invited her. We're celebrating today because of Regina. She helped us get home. No matter what she did in the past, we owe her our thanks.
It meant a lot more to Regina to be invited than she lets on to anybody there. And this leads to what could have been a warm moment between her and Emma. But things take a frustrating and sad turn for Regina here.
Thank you. You just said that for inviting me. Henry wanted it. I'm glad you guys got to spend some time together. Me too. I'd like to see you more. Maybe you'd consider letting him stay over sometime. I have this room just waiting for him. Oh, I'm not sure that's best. Because you know so much about parenting in the 5 minutes you've been with him. Talk to David. At least he took care of him while you were away, like I did during the 10 years you were away the first time.
Nobody's going to deny that Regina has done some pretty terrible things. But even Emma can see she's sincerely trying to change. Even David, who has been the most against Regina from the beginning, sees that. He trusted her to watch Henry, his grandson. He trusts her to watch Henry, even though he knows that she's tried to take him in the past. He knows that she made the choice to let Henry go with David. He knows that she's trying. Emma knows that she's trying, and that's why she invited her to the party. She knows that Regina took part in saving them. For her to take Henry after that, that's a big slap in the face to Regina. She knows that Henry is the person Regina loves most. Probably the only person it can be said that Regina loves at this point. She'd forgotten how to love for so long that it took Henry to remind her of what that really is. If you're going to change your life around, you need a reason to do that. If that's taken from you, if you can't have any chance of making a better future no matter what you do, why would you try? So, if I had been Emma, and this is just my thoughts, and feel free to leave your own thoughts in the comments. If I'd been Emma, I would have said, I'm going to leave it up to Henry. Emma's got a built-in lie detector. Granted, it's unreliable a lot, but she could tell reasonably so if Regina was going to try anything. And you can tell the way Regina asked, she's practically begging for this. And for Regina to be just about begging says a lot. So this was a big mistake on Emma's part. This is going to cause some problems later, even though they smooth this over, because Emma admits that Dr. Harper, Archie, brought up that Regina had been seeing him. Regina's really upset at that. She sees this as a breach of doctor-patient confidentiality, even though Archie is one of the sweetest people in Storybrooke. He's not going to hurt anyone. He said it as a way to try to show how Regina is making an effort, without saying anything that Regina specifically spoke with him about. All he said was that she'd seen him. Regina does not take this well, unfortunately.
Why should I answer you, Bug?
Because I'm making friendly conversation.
That you'll just repeat to anyone with an ear. You told Miss Swan about our sessions.
I was simply trying to help you.
By betraying my trust.
I mentioned only that you had come to see me as an example of your commitment to change.
I came to you in confidence. How am I supposed to prove to people I've changed when you're there to chirp in their ears and remind them of my past?
I said nothing specific. I would never betray the doctor-patient confidentiality.
Doctor? Doctor. Need I remind you you got your PhD from a curse? Hey!
Ruby sees this, and given Regina's past, she makes the assumption that it's a threat against Archie. She tries to step in, and although nothing happens, she witnesses something later that night that does not look good for Regina.
I know it's late, but I was hoping we can talk.
Sure. Come on in. Gosh, you know Regina. I know how hard it is. Real change can often be a struggle.
I couldn't agree more.
Regina, is there something?
Since Ruby saw what appeared to be Regina go to see Archie, everybody's going to believe that Regina killed him come the next morning when they find him dead. Appearances can be really deceiving, especially when people are around who can use magic to look like anybody they want to look like. Emma believes Regina. She knows that Regina's been trying too hard to get back into Henry's life. She doesn't believe she'd throw it away like this. Regina's been at odds with somebody before, so of course, who are they going to suspect of a frame job?
Oh, well, that looks delicious. Thank you very much, Bill. Nothing warms the heart more than a family reunited. You have your mother's chin, Miss Swan.
We know that you killed him.
And your father's tact.
Someone's dead, Dr. Hopper.
Why on earth would you think I had anything to do with that?
Because all the evidence points to Regina, and she's not possibly capable of doing something so vile.
It's a frame job.
It wouldn't be the first time you used someone to try to hurt her.
Nice to see your memory's still intact, Dee, but this time I'm afraid I'm going to have to disappoint you. It wasn't me.
Why should we believe you?
Because I can prove it. Ask the witness.
No one was there.
Well, that's not strictly true, now, is it?
You gotta feel sorry for this couple. They can't catch a break. The last time they tried to have a date, Regina came in and said they needed Rumple's help to stop Cora. Now, when they try to go on a picnic, everybody burst in accusing Rumple of murder. It's ridiculous. Either they need his help or they're accusing him of something. I'm really glad to see Belle defend him here, and I love seeing Rumple maintain his humor and say how Emma has her father's tact. To be fair, they didn't know that Rumple shot Archie before, but Rumple would not hurt Archie. They have probably the closest thing to a friendship that we see except for his friendship with Jefferson. Rumple opened up to Archie about Bay, and that takes a lot. So Rumple is not going to hurt him. He has nothing against Archie. He's never hurt anybody he didn't have a reason to. And like I said before, if they thought about it, they would realize if somebody's ever been targeted by him, it's more than likely because they hurt someone he loves rather than him. We get a nice warm moment coming up that I think is pretty special. It gives a big insight into Rumple's character. He said that there was a witness, and we saw who the witness was.
Good boy. Good boy, good boy.
I didn't know you were such a dog person.
Well, a long time ago in another life, I got to know a sheepdog or two.
That's fascinating. But unless you speak dog, how is Pongo going to tell us anything?
Through magic, of course. It won't allow us to communicate, but it will allow us to extract his memories.
Extract?
You don't have to worry, he won't feel a thing.
Why should we trust you? Couldn't you just as easily use magic to fool us?
Because I'm not going to be the one using magic. You are.
Notice both Rumple's reaction to Pongo and Pongo's reaction to him. Rumple's glad to be around the dog. He's petting him, telling him good boy, and Pongo's gonna lick him. Pongo loves Rumple too. We learned some stuff about being a Dark One in future seasons, and without giving away any spoilers, I'm going to say animals can't stand to be around a Dark One. For Pongo to act this way around Rumple really says something. He sees the person Rumple is, Dark One or not, a lot more so than any human does. Animals are great judges of character. So this really says a lot about Rumple, more so than a lot of other stuff that's been revealed. I think this is a very telling thing to show how Pongo responds to him. Now, of course, the memories they extract from Pongo are going to show what Pongo saw. He saw what looked like Regina. To his eyes, that's what it seemed to be, even though his other senses, I'm sure, knew that was not Regina. Of course, Regina's still going to be accused because that's what all the evidence is pointing to. The truth is that Cora framed her. Now, how sick does Cora have to be to frame her own daughter for murder to make her desperate to have her in her life? That's not the way to get into your daughter's life, Cora. You can't frame her for murder and have her love you. This isn't how this works out. Cora is one sick, twisted person, and you can see why they were willing to destroy whatever came through the well if there was a chance it was hers. She is as evil as they come. Not only did she frame Regina for murder, but she also brought Hook along, of course, and she knows she's out to kill Rumple. So that's going to cause quite a bit of trouble in Storybrooke. Fortunately for Rumple, he's thinking about how to get out of there. He's developed a potion that he's going to test on a not-so-willing test subject.
This will only take a moment.
Don't push me over it. If I cross the line, I'll lose my memory. It's a cruel thing.
A fate you were more than willing to bestow upon Belle. You've had this rag since the day we met. Why is it so important to you?
My grandmother made it for me when I was a boy. It's always brought me good fortune. What difference does it make?
Oh, all the difference in the world is your only chance.
What do you mean, my only...
What's your name?
William Smee.
And who am I?
Rumpelstiltskin. The Dark One. I remember everything.
How can it be? Well, it seems our little experiment was a success. Now go. I have a trip to plan.
I have to back up just a moment to explain something that I didn't get to talk about before. You heard Rumple mention how Smee was willing to take Belle's memories. The story behind that is Maurice tried to send Belle across the town line because he figured if she couldn't remember Rumple, she couldn't be with him, and she'd be better off that way. Great father, right? He's not even willing to let her make her own choice on that. So, since Smee helped him, that's why Rumple wasn't going to hesitate to try to experiment on him. can't really blame him. He was going to take the memories of the woman Rumple loves. I love the smile on Rumple's face when he knows he can cross the town line now. He can finally, after all this time, do what he's planned to do for centuries. He can find Bay again. And that's where I'm going to wrap this up for now, because the next video is going to talk about my favorite part in season 2. We finally get to learn more about what became of Rumple's son, and we get to learn about Henry's father. I don't know if you've watched the series or not, and you have questions about that. If you do, there's spoilers. Like in all of my videos, if you have seen the show, I don't know if that was one of your questions right away, is who's Henry's father, but it has a very intriguing answer. So I hope you'll join me for my next video. Please stay safe, everybody. I know it's a hectic world out there right now. And until next time, remember the magic.